We see here that they accuse Jesus, they taunt him, they resort to name calling. And notice here in that 49th verse, Jesus answered, I don't have a demon. Notice he didn't say anything about the Samaritan comment because it would have been absurd. No, I'm not a Samaritan. You know where I was born. And Jesus doesn't even acknowledge what they had said. He didn't get all huffy and puffy about it. He didn't make a big deal out of it. And he didn't give much stock to their taunting and their accusations. And many times we feel like we have to defend ourselves when someone lies about us, or when someone calls us a name, or someone says something offensive. What I want us to take notice of this morning is how Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the Savior of the world, responded when they called him a Samaritan. He didn't. You don't have to respond to what people are saying to you. That's the cool thing about free will. We get to choose what we respond to. In a relationship, husband and wife relationship, many times it's not what we don't say that gets us in trouble, but it's what we do say. And many times we would just keep our mouth shut, not acknowledge. Maybe it was heated, but if we can learn to control the rudder in our mouth that is steering this big, huge ship, if we can learn to control our mouth, our tongue, we can get out of a lot of situations that we would normally get into. You see, many times when we go through a situation like Jesus is going through, we tend to hold on to it, and we allow it to fester, and we allow it to get all infected inside of us because we just won't let it go. We'll allow it to keep us up at night. We'll allow it to always be a topic of conversation. We allow it to rob us of our peace, to rob us of our joy. And one of the most harmful things that we can do to ourselves, to our future self, to our relationships, to our hopes, to our dreams, is to hold on to a grudge. You see, we're holding on to things that other people said. We're holding on to things that other people did. And what's even worse is when we hold on to someone else's grudge. It doesn't even belong to us. When I think of this, I can just imagine someone holding a grudge. Just imagine that grudge being a big turd. But they're caressing it like it's special. No joke. While it's destroying their life, while it's causing them to lose sleep at night, while it's going into other relationships, they're going into this other relationship, and the person that they're newly relationshiped with says, what's that smell? Oh, it's nothing. Okay, so now your friend has this grudge. And now you're thinking, oh, what do they have in their hand? And they tell you all about it as they're caressing that grudge. And you say, well, I want some of that too. It didn't belong to them in the first place. And now you're picking up a grudge that didn't even belong to them, and it doesn't belong to you, but now you're taking it. And it's someone else's grudge that you're holding on to. It's holding you back. I'm trying to get someone free today. I'm trying to get someone's joy back, someone's hope back, someone's peace back. Because many times we'll say that we want peace, but I'm telling you that what you're holding on to actually says you don't. You're actually telling on yourself by the things that you're holding on to. And the moment you let go is the moment that you'll feel that weight lift from off of your chest. The moment you let it go is the moment you'll be set free. And it may sound simple. I just want to give you a quick nugget here. But holding a grudge never hurts the person you're holding it against, but it always hurts you. Teenagers, what's even worse is when we're holding a grudge or feelings against someone who is already dead and gone. Because if you think about it, that grudge will never resolve. Because that person's no longer here to say, I'm sorry. They're no longer here to explain themselves. And we're holding on to a grudge that will never end because that person may have passed away. And now we're holding on to what I called it earlier. We're caressing it, and there's no resolve there. There's never any way that it's ever going to be lifted from you. Because if you think about it in that situation, how will there ever be a resolve unless you decide, you choose to let it go? When you walk through life holding a grudge, holding on to anger, holding on to feelings of animosity or hatred or bitterness, it causes you to be anxious and restless and unsettled. And if you're not careful, you may just end up taking this thing with you that doesn't even belong to you to your grave. And so the sooner that you can recognize this in your own life, the sooner you can begin to let go, the sooner you can begin to heal, the sooner you can start living a life of love, joy, peace, and hope.